Okay folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to do the next case of Ryan Canyon, case 43. Thanks to these guys for helping me out, Alexandro, Sylvie, and Jason. So let's go. Dead Space. Matthew, I'm not sure what to make of Colonel Spangler's story about this train crash and the escaped alien. What's there to understand? Spangler's clearly lost his mind. Too much top-secret work isn't good for your mental health. I'm tempted to agree, but Matthew's right. The only way to prove that Spangler is delusional is by investigating this nonsense. Spangler left us a message saying we should look for answers at the Pacific Area Space Agency's launch pad, so that's where we're going next. And tomorrow is a big day for PASA. Examiner 1, the first manned expedition to Mars, will be launched. Every precaution is justified. A manned expedition to Mars? How exciting. It must be the biggest thing that ever happened in Ryan Canyon. That's why I want my best cop to visit the launch pad and make sure it's all in order. Ground control to Commissioner Matthew, prepare for liftoff. Moment, guys. Okay, guys. Sorry for the delay. Let's investigate the launch site. Oh. Schedule. Tom Nelson. Ooh. Toy spaceship. Hot air balloon. Okay. My goodness, Matthew. That man has a hole in his chest big enough to see through it. I've never seen anything like it. He's dead, without a doubt. Good point, Matthew. The victim's wearing a spacesuit, so he must be an astronaut. Wait a minute. I recognize him. It's Tom Nelson, the astronaut who was meant to go to Mars. Girly Gossips interviewed him last week about the mission. He was so excited. An astronaut dropping dead one day before a space mission, and look how he died, Matthew. We're dealing with another murder. That paper has the victim's name on it. It appears to be a schedule. Better make the rest of it legible. And you've also found a tiny spaceship? Is that screen asking for a password? Go on, hack it, Matthew. I'm going to autopsy the victim, and I'll grab a whole bunch of stars, so sit tight, folks. Okay, folks, I got me some stars. Let's go ahead and examine his schedule. Or actually, you know what? I think I'll do the rocket first. UB6, yep. 832. Q8M. It's a flash drive. Matthew, good job cracking the password on that miniature spaceship, which turned out to be a USB key. You're right, this USB key was next to the victim. What was it doing on the crime scene? Let's ship it to Hannah. One moment, folks. Sorry guys, that was a phone call that I had that wasn't for me. But now let's get back to, let's examine the schedule now. Decided to go the route of the second one first. I think that's what I'll do from now on. Ryan Canyon Training Facility. Matthew, you revealed new details on the victim's schedule. It says Ryan Canyon Training Facility. So PASA trained their astronauts in the desert, and if Tom Nelson went to this training facility, we should go too. Got almost all of my daily stuff. Let's see. PhD thesis. Photo. Flag. Helmet. I see the water bottle. Pyramid. Okay. Are we still on planet Earth, Matthew? It sure looks like Mars. Now I understand why PASA trains their astronauts here. Oh, you found the victim's spacesuit helmet, and it has a message written on the visor. This is your last ride, Nelson. I agree, that dart could have come from the killer. And what's that substance it's written in? We better collect a sample. He also picked up the cover page of a PhD thesis. It says, Supervisor Tom Nelson. Can you make the rest of the writing visible? And that's a lovely photograph. Two friends sitting by a fire. And you're right, one of them is our victim. But who's that other guy in the knitted hat? Alright, let's check the database, Matthew. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more stars. I'll be right back. Okay, got some more stars. Let's go and examine the thesis. Candidate Brad Rayberry. Okay, shouldn't this be done by... Okay, there we go. Only 5 energy, wow. Matthew, you revealed the rest of the writing on the PhD thesis. So Tom Nelson supervised a student called Brad Rayberry. Let me get you more info. Hannah, could you look up a Brad Rayberry for Matthew? Let's see, Brad's got post-grad at Innovation Valley College, studies astrophysics, and he's an intern at PASA doing research for his thesis. Hope this helps. Perfect. So Brad Rayberry was writing his thesis under Nelson's supervision. Brad must have known the victim well. Let's find him. Ask him about the victim. What a tragedy, Commissioner Matthew. Tom Nelson was the greatest scientist alive. Now the Examiner 1 will not go to Mars. I'll never win a Nobel Prize without him. This is the saddest day of my life. Even sadder than when a cat fell into the particle accelerator. He was never the same again. Our sympathies, Mr. Rayberry, but you could still make a big contribution to science if you helped us find Tom Nelson's killer. Find a killer? That's nothing. Commissioner Matthew, you should try finding a single quark in the quantum field. Tom was the smartest person on Earth. It's not like someone could catch him unawares. Whoever killed him must be an even bigger genius. Good luck competing with that kind of intelligence. Now, excuse me, but the first chapter of my thesis is due in tomorrow, and I'm light years behind. Oh, I was lucky. Also lucky. Good work, Matthew. You collected a sample of that strange substance the killer used to write on Tom Nelson's helmet. Let's send it to the lab. 3 hours. C. Oh, A. Randolph. So the man sitting by the fire with the victim on this picture is a certain Randolph. According to the database, his last name is unknown, no address listed, but it does say Randolph always wears winter clothes, even in summer. How odd. I agree, let's find this Randolph and ask him how he knew the victim. How he knew the victim. Hello, I'm Randolph. Randolph loves talking to people. Well, hello, Randolph. This is Commissioner Matthew. We're investigating the death of Tom Nelson, an astronaut. It appears you knew him? Tom was my best friend. He was training here in the desert, preparing his big trip to Mars. We talked a lot. The desert is lonely, and Randolph is homesick. And cold, especially without my friend. Randolph will miss Tom. You're not from around here, Randolph? You must come from a very hot place if you're cold in the desert. Well, alright, I'll tell you a secret. I'm an alien from planet Crep 9. I crash landed on Earth 40 years ago, and I've been here ever since. Oh dear, not another alien-obsessed lunatic. Thank you, Randolph. We'll be in touch if you need anything else. Matthew, Ryan Canyon seems to be filled with crazy people who think they are aliens. Looks like we have another one on our hands. Looks like it. I'm going to get the rest of the stars. I'll see you when these three run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. See you next time. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. And we're now going to get the results of the strange paste. Hello, Matthew. I've identified the substance you collected from the victim's helmet. It's mashed pepperoni pizza with extra protein and vitamin B preserved at high temperature to keep for 80 years and compressed into a tube. Blurch. Who'd want 80-year-old pizza from a tube? Mainly astronauts. It's a very common space food, not very tasty but nutritious, and as you can see, easy to write with. I ordered a pack of space food online just to cross-check my initial results. I must say I prefer traditional pizza. Alright, so you know our killer eats space food. That's the strangest evidence I've ever taken down, Matthew. But fear not, it's in my notebook now. I'll let the spaceship USB key run its course. I'll see you for that. Okay folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the spaceship USB key. From Hannah. Hello Matthew, I'm embarrassed to admit this USB key you found on the crime scene was a real headache. Really? Don't you just plug it into a computer? It's not rocket science. When it belongs to an astronaut, it is rocket science. The files on the USB deleted themselves as soon as I plugged it in. Those guys at PASA take their data protection seriously. Oh great, so you have no idea what was on the USB? Luckily, I found a bug in the script that encrypts the owner's name, and discovered that the USB key belongs to a certain Megan Steele. I looked her up. She's a lead scientist at PASA. Megan Steele was in charge of the Examiner 1 program, the Mars mission your victim was part of. She was Nelson's supervisor. I agree, Matthew. Time for more rocket science. Let's ask Miss Steele what her USB key was doing on the crime scene. Examiner 1 mission. Miss Steele, Commissioner Matthew found your USB key next to a dead PASA astronaut. We suspect the murder could be linked to the mission you led. The Examiner 1 is a top secret research program. The public only know that The public only knows that it's the first manned mission to Mars, and I'm not authorized to tell you more. Everything in Ryan Canyon seems to be top secret. What about Tom Nelson? Who do you think wanted to harm him? Tom Nelson was a brilliant scientist, a great loss for PASA. I'm sorry, I don't remember much else about him. I mean, it's, classified. I guess you don't remember how your USB key ended up on the crime scene either? Tom borrowed it from my desk. Or did I give it to him? I'm not sure. Forgive me, Commissioner Matthew, my hands are tied and... Between you and me, sometimes after a particularly trying day, I feel like my brain just gets wiped. I can hardly remember my own name. Thank you, Miss Steele. I hope the other scientists at PASA aren't as scatterbrained as you, or you might accidentally send your mission to the wrong planet. That will be something. I'll let the autopsy run its course. See you guys for that. Morning, folks. It is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the victim's body. Let's see how Tom Nelson died. Matthew, I thought I'd seen every conceivable way to take a person's life, but this astronaut's death almost defies science. See this enormous hole in the victim's chest? His heart, lungs, rib cage are all gone, but the surrounding tissue is intact. There's no blood or bruising. Whatever did this completely cauterized the wound. Seriously, when you find the murder weapon, Matthew, let me know. I guarantee you it's not an ordinary weapon. If the victim was a PASA astronaut, perhaps his enemies weren't ordinary criminals either. Well, there's one thing about the killer that's perfectly ordinary. They're right-handed. How did you figure that out, Roxy? The victim was found propped up against a car. The car wasn't damaged, which means the body was moved there post-mortem. Where he'd been moved, the victim was leaning slightly to the right. This shows the killer's right side is stronger than the left, which in turn means they're right-handed. Whoa! Knowing you, Matthew, this small detail will be a giant step forward in this investigation. I'll write it down. The killer is right-handed. Matthew, this case is going nowhere at the speed of light. Tom Nelson, an astronaut, was killed the day before going to Mars. There was a big hole in his chest, and Roxy thinks his injuries were caused by a weapon no one has ever seen before. PASA is reluctant to anything about the Mars mission. The chief scientist, Megan Steele, is either forgetful or pretending to be. The PhD student, Brad Rayberry, is sad his mentor died, but his head is too high up in the stratosphere to be useful for the investigation. And Randolph is a bit simple. Apparently he thinks he's from another planet. Commissioner Matthew, I'm glad you're here. Colonel Spangler, perfect timing. You've led us to this investigation, and we'd really like to know why. Commissioner Matthew, you must never tell anyone I was here. My superior will have my head if he finds out. Listen, deep in the desert, the Army has a secret war room. Only the highest ranking officers have access. The current password is Starlight, but it will change in 2 hours. You must go there now. I can't say more, but hurry and you'll see for yourself. Well, I guess we'll make our way there next time on Chapter 2. Alright folks, it's Matthew. We are back. Going for Criminal Case Chapter 2 of Case 43, Dead Space. Here we go. Commissioner Matthew, you have to listen to me. I don't have much time, and no one should ever find out I was here. Colonel Spangler, perfect timing. Are you going to tell us why you led us to investigate Tom Nelson's murder? I didn't know he would die, but it only confirms my suspicions. Listen, deep in the desert, the Army has a secret war room. The current password is Starlight, but it will change in 2 hours. You need to go there now. And why exactly should we trust you, Colonel? I'd come with you and explain, but there isn't time. I'm in big trouble already for coming here. My superior must never find out. Now go, before the password changes. You're right, Matthew. If the password is only good for 2 hours, we don't have time to hesitate. We must go to the war room now. This is the secret room. This is the secret room, Matthew. Go on. Let's see if the password works. Top secret folder. Hamburger slippers. Got them all. After 20th. Shh, Matthew, let's be quiet. If anyone finds us here, it's not just Colonel Spangler who will be in trouble. And look, that's the Army's top secret file on Tom Nelson. I agree, we should treat this as a clue and look through the file, but be quick before they discover us. And you've also found some broken pieces? Alright, put them back together, but don't make any noise. $218 more points until I up a level again. Picture. Somebody's name is circled, or somebody's picture circled. Matthew, you found a photo in Tom Nelson's file? Yes, it's definitely our victim, though he looks much younger. But who's that girl with Nelson? Apparently the Army classified her as a security risk. Matthew, we better put this folder back so it looks like we never touched it. Let's just take that one photo to the lab. Okay, 6 hours. Oh, this is tough. There we go. That's a tough one. I haven't seen a gun like that before. Matthew, you restored the broken device. Is that a gun? It's certainly very odd looking. It could be dangerous. Better send it to the lab. Okay, 12 hours. I'll let these two run their courses. I'll see you for that. So for now, this is Matthew. See you in quite a while. Okay folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the photograph. I'm going to speed up the gun after this. Matthew, the girl in the photo you found in the Army's war room is a certain Astrid Saucer. She is Tom Nelson's childhood friend. Astrid is also a well-known UFO fanatic. She has an Alien Encounters blog with thousands of followers, which might explain why the Army considered her a security risk. Oh great, aliens again, just what we needed. But you're right, Matthew, we should talk to this woman. If she was the victim's friend, maybe she'll tell us something useful about him. did level up to level 220. Won't be long before I'm at 225. Tom and I grew up together. We both had a passion for the stars, even as children. We used to sit on the roof at night, snacking on space food, gazing at the sky. Give me a moment, guys. Sorry guys, there was a phone that rang. We've always known there were aliens walking among us. We just had to prove it. Aliens walking among us? Right. I know you don't believe me, Commissioner Matthew, but Tom was going to bring mankind a step closer to the truth. Miss Saucer, why did the Army think you were a security risk? Is it because you were planning to hurt Tom? What? The Army didn't consider me a danger to Tom. I was a danger to them. They tell people aliens don't exist, and they're afraid of me because I know the truth. Thanks for your help, Miss Saucer. Oh, and one last thing. Our tech expert loves your Alien Encounters blog. Would you mind signing this card for her? Sure, where should I sign? I hope you find Tom's killer, Commissioner Matthew. She's right-handed. Did you see that, Matthew? Astrid signed her name with her right hand. I thought giving her that card was just the kind of trick you'd do. Now I can add right-handed to her profile. Well spotted, Matthew. She also mentioned eating space food. Another coins. And I'll speed up the processing of the gun. Matthew, believe it or not, this gun you found in the Army's war room is a laser gun. What's more, this gun is your murder weapon. I had Roxy run comparisons against the victim's wounds, and she's categorical. This gun's laser beam is what burnt the hole in your victim's chest, instantly cauterizing the wound. This sounds so strange. I didn't think laser guns existed outside science fiction. Me neither, but this gun is most likely an experiment by the Army. Without an advanced knowledge of astrophysics, you could never fire it. So we know the killer knows astrophysics. You're right, Matthew. Brad Rayberry and Megan Steele are both scientists who worked with the victim. This moves them to the top of our suspect list. Killer knows astrophysics. But they're not in the running yet. Matthew, you're right. We found the murder weapon at the Army's secret facility, a place where only high-ranking Army officials can enter. Could the Army also be involved in this murder? How else could they have acquired the gun after the murder? You're right. Colonel Spangler said he was helping us behind his superior's back. I've already checked. It's a certain General Freeman. We have to question General Freeman and find out what he knows about this murder. General Freeman about the murder weapon? So you're the ones who entered the war room without my permission. Did that coward Spangler help you? If we were at war, you'd be shot for this. We're not at war, General Freeman. We're investigating a murder, and you've been found in possession of the murder weapon. I found that gun in the desert, already broken. I picked it up and brought it back to the base, following standard security protocol. Firearms are not to be left lying about in the desert. So you didn't kill Tom Nelson with it and then attempted to hide the evidence? I killed better men than Tom Nelson with my bare hands, Commissioner Matthew, but only in battles I fought for your freedom. I've never committed murder. I know the Army's developing new high-tech weapons, but this research malarkey isn't for me. I'm a soldier, not a nerd. Science is for girls. I'll take that as a compliment, General Freeman. Go back to the desert, Commissioner Matthew, or go to Mars. What do I care? Just stay out of the Army's affairs. Dismissed. Matthew, who does this General Freeman think he is, talking to you like that? Ordering you to go to the desert, like he's your boss. Maybe he wants to stay out of the desert, and that's his way of bamboozling us. Ha! Not so easy to dupe you, Matthew. Back to the desert we go, right? Oh yeah. Okay. Theta note. Broken pieces. Object gas mask. Blue diamond. And beacon. Got it.
I see you've already found some clues, Matthew. That faded note has Megan's name on it. It's a message from Nelson's boss. Can you make the rest of the writing visible? Megan was very secretive when we spoke to her. Perhaps this will explain why. And what's that broken object? That broken object. You're right, Matthew. It's too odd to ignore. You'll have to restore it to find out what it is. Faded note. What the heck? I kill... something. Megan's note to the victim is just an equation. You're the smartest person I know, Matthew, but can you understand advanced math? Wait, you're right. The writing looks like an equation, but on closer inspection, the letters form words. IKI11 equals UNE1S0N. I kill you, Nelson. It's a threat against the victim. I agree. Megan has some explaining to do. Let's see what she has to say about a threat against the victim. Miss Steele, Commissioner Matthew found your message to Tom Nelson. You said he was a brilliant scientist, but it turns out you wanted to kill him. Oh, so you found out. Alright, Commissioner Matthew, I didn't tell you the complete truth last time. Nelson was a brilliant scientist, but I was sick of his defiant behavior. Can you believe he stole space food from my lunchbox and told me I should cook real food because I was a woman? I'm leading the mission to Mars, for Pete's sake. So you threatened him because he didn't respect you? That wasn't everything. Because of Nelson, I received constant complaints from the Army, too. Now I have both the Army and the police breathing down my neck, thanks to him. If he wasn't already dead, I'd stuff him in the rocket launcher myself. Broken object now. There we go. Kooky looking plant. Matthew, the strange broken thing turned out to be a potted plant. But what kind of plant is it? Is it even real? I mean, I've never seen a plant with a blue egg growing out of it. At least there's a sticker that says, "For Tom," so we know it was given to the victim. I agree, it's definitely something to send to the lab. But don't touch it with your hands, Matthew, just in case it does something. See you guys for that. Maybe I'll speed this up, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna get the rest of the stars for now. Alright folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now gonna get the results of the weird plants and wrap up Chapter 2 of Pacific Bay Case 43, Dead Space. Congratulations, Matthew. You've discovered a new plant species. This plant you found in the desert doesn't match any of the 400,000 known species on Earth. I'd really like to study this plant, Matthew. Do you think I can look after it until you close the investigation? I'd hate to see it wither. You can study it all you want, but how about giving us some useful info first? Well, the plant might be a mystery, but at least we know where the pot came from. There's a sticker on it from gardening supplies. I called him, and the shopkeeper remembered the guy who bought it. A strange fellow wearing thick winter clothes. Winter clothes in the desert? You're right, Matthew. It can only be Randolph. We've already met him. He was the victim's friend. Alright, let's ask Randolph about this plant. Randolph, you said Tom Nelson was your friend. Is that why you gave him this strange plant? The plant is from Crep 9. I gave it to Tom because he was my best friend. So the plant is from an alien planet? Like you? Look, Randolph, no offense, but it's hard to believe that a PASA astronaut was friends with someone like you. What did you two talk about? We talked about astrophysics. Tom was smart and kind. He brought me the yummiest space food from PASA. Randolph loves space food. You don't believe me, Earthling Matthew? Randolph is from Crep 9, traveled across galaxy to Earth. Astrophysics is easy for Randolph. Tom was nervous about his trip to Mars. I told him not to worry. Randolph knows every corner of the galaxy. I said, Tom, take me with you. You drive. I read the map. I want to see my beautiful planet again. But Tom says no, impossible, the mission is secret. Randolph can't come. Tom was a bad friend. I was angry. I told him to get lost in space forever. So you were angry with Tom because he wouldn't let you on his spaceship? That's why you broke his plan. What else did you do to him, Randolph? I didn't hurt him, Earthling Matthew. I was angry, but now I have nothing from Crep 9 and I have no friend either. Randolph's sad. Matthew, this case is a black hole that swallows the light of reason. Let's see if we can make sense of it. You found the laser gun that killed Tom Nelson. It was developed by the Army. General Freeman found the gun in the desert but denies involvement in the murder. You've also discovered the victim had some odd friends. Randolph, who believes he's an alien and was angry because Nelson had refused to take him home on his spaceship. Megan Steele, the victim's boss, hated Nelson because of his disrespectful behavior. Wait, is that the phone? Hello, who is this? Commissioner Matthew, it's Brad, the PhD student whose thesis Nelson supervised. Listen, the Army was here. They stormed in and confiscated all our research. It was like war. What? The Army raided the PASA site? I told you, they took everything. It's like they're trying to erase all traces of Tom's existence. Oh, shucks. There we go. There was an error message. So I'll see you guys for chapter 3, despite the fact I was denied a couple hundred coins and 20 XP, but it doesn't matter. Okay folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to begin chapter 3 of Dead Space. Hello, who's this? Commissioner Matthew, it's Brad, the PhD student whose thesis Nelson supervised. The Army stormed in and confiscated all our research. What? The Army raided the PASA site? They stormed in and took everything. It's like they're trying to erase all traces that Tom Nelson ever existed. You think the Army's trying to hide evidence from us, Matthew? Why else did they confiscate our victim's research? But then there's only one place where they could have taken the evidence, the secret war room. Matthew, we only have 10 minutes before the password till that room expires. Let's hurry back before it's too late. Constellation Orb. Open
box. Okay, let's see here. Faded paper. Well, there's the arrow. Oh, no. Torn article. And tactical vest. Not one of my best scores, but at least I did it. Matthew, Brad Rayberry was right. A lot of stuff here looks like it was taken from Pass's labs in a hurry. And that box sure looks like a hiding place. Can you sift through the contents without much noise, Matthew? What else did you find? A pie chart? If you think it could be linked to the victim, you'll need to retrieve the faded text. And you think that torn paper is worth restoring too? I trust your instincts, Matthew. I know you'd go to the dark side of the moon to find this killer. I'm gonna get a couple more stars. I'll be right back. Okay, got me some more stars. Let's examine the faded pie chart. Reasons I'll fail my PhD. Oh gosh. Matthew, this pie chart has the victim's name on it. It's titled Reasons I'll Fail My PhD, and the main reason is Tom Nelson. You're right. The only person who could have drawn this chart is Brad Rayberry. Our victim supervised his thesis. Brad seemed to have a lot of respect for his mentor. Was it all an act? Did he hate Nelson? I agree. We must question Brad again. Time to light the rocket under this investigation, Matthew. Pie chart accusing the victim. Brad, why were you so angry with Tom Nelson? Commissioner Matthew found this chart. Care to explain? So you found out. Alright, I got a little impatient with Nelson, but only because I was eager to learn more. Nelson was hiding crucial research from me. He kept saying the mission was top secret, but scientists shouldn't keep secrets from each other. So you killed him to teach him a lesson. Are you listening to me? What use is a dead supervisor to me? I needed him alive, at least until I finished my thesis. Nelson never involved me in any serious work. I was in charge of photocopies and the space food orders. I like space food, but that's not what I'm at PASA for. Now I'll fail my exams and it's his fault. I might as well tie myself to a Soyuz rocket and die, Commissioner Matthew. Well, he's not right-handed. So for now, he's clear. Top secret box now. I gotta get this done quickly. I only have about half an hour until my school. A ball, huh? Matthew, that ball you found in the cardboard box has the victim's face on it. What's it for? Oh, I know. You're supposed to squeeze it to release stress. So someone found it relaxing to crush Tom Nelson's face. We need to send this ball to the lab for fingerprints. There's second coins. Gonna examine the ball. There we go. Matthew, you've restored the torn paper, and it's an article. Life on Mars impossible, says astronaut. Hey, that's Tom Nelson in the picture. But somebody wrote a message on the paper. Liars shouldn't go to space. Astrid. And the message is signed by Astrid. You're right, that must be Astrid Saucer, Tom's friend who believes in aliens. We must find Astrid, and we have to act fast, Matthew.
lying? Astrid, Commissioner Matthew discovered you accused Tom Nelson of lying. What was that about? Alright, I see there's no use in lying to you. I was mad at Tom. Tom and I both trained to be astronauts. I scored higher in astrophysics than he did, but I quit and never graduated. You quit astronaut training? Why? Wasn't it the perfect opportunity for you to prove that aliens exist? I wish, but PASA and the Army wouldn't have let me tell people the truth. They keep denying aliens exist. I wasn't going to join them. But your friend Tom did, and you felt betrayed. Is that it? You didn't want him to go to Mars, so you killed him? I regret sending him that message now. Bitterness got the better of me, but I didn't kill him, Commissioner Matthew. Tom was my only friend, and now I'm truly alone in my quest. She's still in the running, though. I'll let this run its course. See you guys for when that happens. Okay, folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the stress ball. Matthew, I've analyzed the stress ball you found in the war room with the victim's face on it. The material made it hard to find good prints, but I pulled through. The stress ball belongs to General Freeman. General Freeman? He never mentioned he hated the victim. We should definitely have a chat with him. One more thing, Matthew. The deformations of the ball also show that the general is right-handed. That's part of the killer's profile, too. Yes! All the more reason to round up Freeman with the speed of light, Matthew. General Freeman, Commissioner Matthews discovered you like to exercise by squeezing Nelson's face. What did he do to annoy you? You don't know what it was like to work under Nelson's command. That stress ball is the only thing that kept me from punching the real guy in the face. Wait, what? How did you end up working under Nelson's command? You're an Army general, and he was a simple astronaut. Trust me, I didn't ask for it. I told you science wasn't my thing, but I was ordered to be first officer on the Examiner 1, and on a space mission, even an Army general must take orders from the astronauts. PASA decided they needed someone on the mission to protect the astronauts from potential hostile aliens. Safety first. PASA needed you to protect Nelson from aliens? Wow, they really prepared for the most unlikely eventuality. But Nelson still got killed. Could it be because taking orders from an astronaut annoyed you so much that squeaking the ball wasn't enough? I told you, I'm not a murderer. Something in their space food drove my blood pressure through the roof. That's all it was. He's telling the truth so far. Matthew, I did a little research. 2 of the clues you collected contain handwriting samples from suspects. Based on the equation jotted down by Megan Steele, I can confirm that she's right-handed. And so is Brad Rayberry, whose handwriting was on his pie chart. That's amazing, Russell. Thank you. Matthew, come into my office. I have news. Matthew, I've just heard that Colonel Spangler is going to be court-martialed for high treason. His superiors must have found out he'd given us access to the war room. Spangler's in trouble for helping us. Exactly. Much as I dislike Spangler, I don't want the police mixed up in a military affair. You must catch Nelson's killer to prove we all acted in the public interest. Of course, I never forgive myself if something happened to him on the one time he was helpful. Could there be more to this than meets the eye, Matthew? Could this all be linked to Nelson's murder? It's up to you to find out, Matthew, and quickly. Go back to the PASA launch site immediately. The countdown has started.
can with a big hole. Benzene, take out orange fabric, and measuring tape. Matthew, the hole in that can looks strangely familiar. You're right, the edges of the hole are sharp and clean, exactly like the hole in the victim's chest. I agree, this can must be the killer's work. What about that substance on the surface? It looks like dust. Can you collect a sample of it? And that piece of fabric is the same color as the victim's spacesuit. It also seems to be stained with something. Do you think you can collect a sample of that stain too? Be quick, Matthew. We have to catch the killer before Colonel Spangler's court-martial for helping us. Can I get a few more stars? I'll be right back. Okay, got a few more stars. Let's examine the empty can. There we are. Good job collecting a sample of dust from the killer's can. Let's send it to the lab. Disclude my free Colonel Spangler and put the killer behind bars.
But still expecting some impacts. We picked up some rain today. Heavy rain possible in the next few days. High surf warning in effect for
9 hours.
until Wednesday morning. Talking about winds about 15 to 20 feet. So very deadly surf in the next few days. Hoping for some relief on this year. We may see some trains that will be from
Oh, that was lucky. Great, let's get the sample you've collected on Tom's spacesuit to the lab and show the killer who's the real rocket scientist around here. 15 hours. I'll let these two run their courses. See you all for when they do. Okay folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the red dust. I'm going to speed up the substance after this. Even though there's only 12 minutes left, I can't really wait. Matthew, I've analyzed the dust from the can you found at the murder scene. It's a very fine but pervasive red dust, only found in the desert, especially hard to get out of clothes. Well, we know the killer must have touched the can, so what does that tell us about them? Considering the shape of those marks, the killer probably transferred the red dust from their hand to the can. They must have gotten stained before going to the launch site. So you're telling us the killer has some red dust on their clothes? Huh, this discovery will propel them to Planet Prison, Matthew. Matthew, the substance you collected from Tom's spacesuit was sweat. The killer must have sweated while moving the victim's body. It's hard work, but for you, it's a lucky break. Does that mean we're looking for someone with disgusting sweat marks on their clothes? No, the sweat contained enough DNA for me to identify a physical trait, the killer's eye color. Matthew, the killer has blue eyes. Matthew, you've collected enough evidence. All systems go. Let's arrest the killer and prove that Spangler did the right thing by helping us. Okay, let's see here. Oh no, it's not Astrid Saucer. It's not General Freeman. Megan Steele doesn't have a stain. It's the PhD student, Brad Rayberry. Too bad. Brad Rayberry, Commissioner Matthews arresting you for Tom Nelson's murder. Unproven hypotheses could be embarrassing, Commissioner Matthew. Take the static universe theory. Einstein never lived it down. Drop the attitude, Brad. You didn't think something as small as your handwriting on a pie chart would be your downfall, did you? That's your proof? Handwriting? Oh, please. That's about as scientific as a horoscope. Interesting that you'd mention science. You're a postgrad in astrophysics, just like the killer. Is it still against the law to study the planets in the universe? I thought the Inquisition ended a few centuries ago, Commissioner Matthew. I'm going to have to stay silent from now on.
But I thought I remember saying that it was like
no, assignments. But I'm not sure about the test. I took the test after I watched the video. I was skeptical.
Keep going. If it's already
He said it's not graded. The assignments. I know.
oh my god.
But I think I'm still gonna do them because actually.
I was like so lost because there was like some questions that I was like it was not very well defined and stuff.
I did the assignment before he announced it. I spent like 2 hours on that.
Find these pointers I went to the website. Sometimes it doesn't even like it says no results. It's like why?
Did you go to the website that he said?
Yeah.
No results there either?
Yeah. It's like sometimes there's no results. That's why it took me so long. So I have to like go to different freaking sources to check. Right, it took me so long.
It's on the resources page.
Is it?
On the readings.
I checked the readings. Well, I checked the readings that said totally go.
There's a reading on having it says it's good on the September.
Oh, okay. The test.
Fantastic.
Okay. Sure. There's that. While I still have the like stuff in my head. Forget it something.
Yeah. 5
Just
questions.
like 4 questions.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell
Like
me.
from the movie.
Well, is it like you just response?
It's multiple. I'm not sure about the math test though. I haven't done those.
Yeah, I never.
You had to go to like
It's gonna
testing
wait.
area, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah. That's, yeah. Darn. I thought I could do it. I could just like sit there, look at the map, he won't be silent.
I think that's why they wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Because that's what I did with the video. Like the video was over there.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm
Let's
gonna
look at the
do it.
question. I have 20 minutes. I can do this.
Yeah, that's what I can do.
Oh, it's with this. It's a video.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking previously.
That's what I did with assignments too.
Actually, you know what? Yeah. Can I add you to that? Can I like, I'll message you and ask you, oh, what happens if I'm stuck here?
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, you do. I see that you're in the card.
So easy and like, oh, this guy has like a SSB cover. There's no way he's not this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that one's like, Double seriously. Someone never get tired. I know. I go into like know what every deck does like in 2 or 3 weeks.
My legend deck. The alpha whatever. If I play the deck, the meat will be everyone's playing.
Challenge became so easy to
small number of people. So I think we need to move together. We need to move a conference table thing. So what we're going to do is move this to here. So Matthew, you're going to have to get up. Up you go, buddy. I'll put the chairs on. Son, what's going on? Oh my gosh, it's just such a trial. I know where I'm sitting. I'm sitting on the front end. Sitting right over here. Next to Matthew, so I can yell at him for playing on the computer. Hear me, Matthew?
Yeah, it's almost
What's
done
hidden in
though.
this little blanket here?
Oh, my Pop-Tart.
Okay. Will that be everybody? Want to cover soft screen? Good. We might make it. We might. What, it's only 10 to 10? Is it really? You guys have all that time still? Maybe we should just start early. If everybody gets here early, we'll start with it. So would you bring it? No, what'd you bring me? I don't want any of that. Did you bring me anything interesting? You know what I did? I did some research on these damn degrees. It's really confusing. Everybody has a different way of doing it. So no wonder it's a mess. So we'll put them up on the board so everybody can just write down what we can go with. So what page are you on, Christopher?
49.
49? Good. What are you on? 85. How about you, Deanna? 50. How about you?
69.
Okay. And you? Son! You always look like you're awake. I don't know what that, how you pull that up. It looks like.
Okay, folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of Randolph's passport. Matthew, that passport you sent me doesn't make any sense. Randolph's official record is filled with contradictions. It's a real mess. His passport says he was born in 1947, but his public record says he was born in 1973. He apparently went to college in Jazztown, but the university doesn't exist. His passport says he's got blue eyes, but you told me they're brown. Nothing matches. What does that mean exactly? A bug in the system? I don't think so. I believe Randolph faked his official records to hide his real background. Fake records? I agree, Matthew. Randolph doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would do that. Let's confront him. Fake official record. Thank you, Earthlings. Randolph had to notice he lost his identifier. Randolph, why is your official record a mess? None of the information we found about you makes any sense. Mess? I did nothing to the files. Randolph likes organized data, so you have nothing to do with it. Record was set up after I came from Crep 9. Randolph didn't know you needed all that data to stay on Earth. All that... Oh, come on, Randolph. You're not expecting us to believe your record is fake because you're an alien? I didn't create fake data. Randolph just wants to go back to Crep 9. Here, Commissioner Matthew, you're a nice person, so Randolph gives you a gift. Let the strange liquid run its course. See you for that. Alright folks, there's Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the strange liquid. Do more. This liquid you found at the Paso launch site is amazing, Matthew. I've never seen anything like it. This is even better than the plant. It appears to be some kind of fuel, except it's way more powerful than regular fuel. You'd only need a fourth of the amount we currently use to send our spaceships to Mars. The formula seems incomplete, but it's still way more advanced than anything Paso has publicly revealed. This is like looking 10 years into the future. Matthew, this isn't the first time we've seen Paso with some very advanced technology. Remember that gun? That's why I decided to accompany Matthew and go talk to Megan Steele, the lead scientist at Paso. Of course, Chief. I'll wait at the station. I'm tired of everyone keeping secrets from us, Matthew. It's time Paso and the Army give us some answers. Megan Steele had better cooperate. Yeah. My local news just ended. Got the experimental fuel. Where did you find this sample, Commissioner Matthew? This is a past experimental project, not ready to be exposed to the public. At least I don't think it is. Where did you say you found it? Commissioner Matthew found this sample on a metallic piece at the launch site. So this is still in the experimental phase? I think it's fuzzy. I guess the project has been canceled. It happens. The Army picks which project has priority. What do you mean fuzzy? Our forensics experts said it's really advanced fuel. Don't you keep track of the experiments? Of course I do. I mean, I must have. Look, I can't remember everything. There are tons of projects going on here. I need to debrief this with the Army. I can't remember what we were planning to use that fuel for. I agree, Matthew. Something's up. Megan looks like she can't remember anything. Her behavior's strange. We should keep an eye on her. You're right. She also said the Army knew about this experiment. Do you still have access to their control room? Let's go, and let's buy a snack on our way. I'm famished. Grandma will get that, folks. Okay. Torn photo, cigar, flying saucer. Coffee, shovel, ashtray, towel, pen, and job, Matthew. You've obviously found something our army friends didn't want people to see. Why else would they tear this picture up? Let's restore it. What the? Is this blurry picture supposed to show an alien? I don't get it. It's like someone took a picture of a toy and slapped an official army seal on it. What's all this nonsense about? You're right, Matthew. It may be simpler to confront General Freeman with this. Surely he'll tell us this is all a prank. I don't know. I don't know what this picture is. I've never seen it before, nor do I know anything about a super advanced fuel being developed at PASA. Ask the scientist about that. Those pansies might be useful for once. The PASA scientist directed us to you, Freeman. You expect us to believe you know nothing about a picture in your mission control room? With your logo on it? Are you accusing me of lying this? I don't know who you think you are, but you should know when to let the big guys talk. I'm the chief of the Pacific Bay Police Department. Don't even think about intimidating me or Commissioner Matthews. You're actively hiding things from us, and you disrupted Commissioner Matthews' investigation. Here's a fine for obstruction of justice. Maybe it'll calm you down. This is a mess. First, PASA seems to have very advanced knowledge and technology, but their chief scientist suffers from memory loss. And Randolph insists he's an alien. The fact that his passport data seems to be fabricated doesn't help things. Not to mention this picture we found in the Army's headquarters. I don't even know what to think about this. It's just so absurd. Now we won't be getting any answers from General Freeman, I'm afraid. This man is as thick as a block of concrete. Come on, Chief Marquez. I've seen you more stubborn than this. Commissioner Matthew and you just saved my career, my friends. Colonel Spangler? Glad to see you've avoided court-martial, but I think you owe us answers. I'm really sorry about all this secrecy, but I can't put the alien in danger. I know this will sound crazy, but listen carefully. The alien needs you, Commissioner Matthews. They trust you, and they'll need your help to get back to their planet. Yes, you've already met them, and if something happens to me, you need to make sure neither PASA nor General Freeman recaptures them. I can't tell you more right now, but there will be a festival in Ryan Canyon soon. Meet me there and I promise everything will finally make sense. Well, I've done it again. Solved another case. Now I'm gonna enjoy some dinner and wait for some reports. See you guys for case 44.